This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Transportify is your on-demand delivery solution. Book through our easy mobile or web app. Select the right vehicle to fit your needs at just the right price. We save you up to 40% over regular transport prices. Transportify serves Bangkok Metro, Greater Jakarta, and Metro Manila with more cities coming soon. Try us and join our revolution.
Welcome to Usapang Bayan. Ako po si George Chua kasama ang aking co-host na si Rach Marquez. Pag-uusapan po natin ang mga mahahalagang pangyayari at issue na kinaharap ng ating bansa.
Makakasama po natin sa gabing ito ang co-country directors ng Transportify, Mr. Paulo Bengson and Mr. Noel Abelardo. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Well, welcome,
Thank you very much.
Paulo and Noel.
Thank
So
you.
we saw that short clip about Transportify,
Yes.
but I think it's better for our audience to hear it straight from you, what Transportify is all about and how you got involved in Transportify.
All right. Well,
Oh.
Transportify is a mobile and web app. So what we do is we connect businesses or individuals through our driver partners, essentially through an app. So it can be downloaded on Google Play or Apple Store, or even you can use our web app for that. How did we start, Pao?
Yeah, so Transportify is actually an ASEAN company. We're a Southeast Asian company with operations in 3 countries, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. So we enable people, either individuals or businesses, to find delivery service providers, most of which are delivery vans. And they find them on a marketplace, similar to how some apps are able to find you a driver for your passenger transport. This is to find for your business transport. And we allow people who have vehicles or who want to get into the business of delivering, we allow them to enroll on our platform so they can find work or business to transport goods for other people.
Would you say that this is similar to the concept of Uber and Grab, in that it's an app-based application that instead of ferrying people from one point to another, you are doing it for goods?
That is the most popular way we're known. So in terms of making a booking and accepting a booking, it feels a lot like
Yes.
Grab and Uber. Yes. Although the actual experience, the physical experience is very different. Going from one place to another, yung hinahatid guys is a feeling that we're all very used to. A normal driver can do that
Yeah.
for you. However, experiencing a delivery wherein you put in requirements, whether you need extra services, whether you have specific instructions, those are something that are different. And the experience with the driver is much richer. You really need a very good service provider to achieve a good service level.
Well, for one, you don't have the passenger to tell you where to go. Right? He has to figure it all out himself.
Yeah.
The package is not going to help him get to
Yeah.
where he needs to go. But I also would like to point out that as we were talking about it earlier, the big difference is that your franchise for hire trucks is not suspended. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, unlike in the case of, let's say, taxi operations
Yes.
and other passenger type of
Mhm.
service. These are all under moratorium, or they have stopped giving out franchises for these, and that's why I think to a certain extent the Uber and the Grab models have had some problems in that regard.
Yes, that is correct. There's already an established regulatory framework that's quite clear, especially for vans, the FB type vehicles that you see all around the city, and this regulation is quite clear. And one thing we do for our partners is that after they've driven a little bit and we know that they're dedicated to this business, we help them gain clarity on the process, and we handhold them through the process to make it so that everything is handled and assisted by us.
Since you've already mentioned businesses, sir, what kind of businesses avail of your services?
Well, we started out, to be honest, when we started here in Manila last year, it was July 2015 when we launched here in the Philippines. And initially, we wanted to help out small, medium-sized enterprises. We started with SMEs because we knew at the very beginning that they had their pain point. That was the most difficult for them. Or a few things that's very challenging for them to grow their business is logistics. And that's where we are able to help them out by providing very cost efficient and high service level deliveries for them. They make their customers happy and they're happy in turn. So, and at the same time, they have less to worry instead of you having your own fleet, employing your own driver, and all that. So now they're able to focus more to how to grow their business.
Their main business instead of
Yes.
having to worry about the periphery.
But in a way also we've evolved from that framework from small to medium-sized enterprises. We've gained enough knowledge about the market. We've built certain processes and systems that allow us to be capable of servicing bigger clients, bigger enterprise clients. So in fact now most of our clients that inquire about us is asking about, you know, how do you make deliveries nationwide? How do you make deliveries outside Metro Manila? What is your restrictions? What is your capabilities? And these are the things that we're able to address for big client businesses.
When you say a big client, how big is big? How do you measure it? By the number of deliveries they do a day?
Well,
or-
yes. Number one would be volume, and the next would be just the name, like the big enterprise
Well, without
conglomerates.
mentioning the specific names, could you give us an idea of the volume of how many, deliveries they make in a single day?
Well, one of our biggest clients, they I think make booking wise about in a week maybe 200 to 400 a week.
Wow.
It's really a lot. That it's just one client.
Yeah. And the way you were explaining it to us earlier was that it's not the simple matter of just taking them on as a customer. You do some customization. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that? So maybe we have some potential customers of yours that might want to jump on board.
Yeah. Well, we kind of figured out that certain businesses would have certain problems and they would have different processes, especially when you're going inside warehouse or when you're doing dispatching or a lot of operational stuff.
Think about it like when you make a booking, what the driver sees is a little bit customized for you.
Yeah.
Right? So when it comes in here, all the steps for lahat ng mga papeles mo, all the documents, delivery documents, the driver will already have instructions on how to fill those out. The driver, alam na niya kung anong gagawin pagpasok sa warehouse.
Kung sino hahanapin niya.
Yes.
Sino hahanapin. And that will automatically come with your booking. So it has your special set of instructions. And the driver fleet is already aware and has built the habit already of always reading these instructions.
How does this happen, sir? Do you conduct trainings for your drivers?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, I mean, to be part of our driver partner fleet, what one needs to do is first we apply, they apply to us, and then we have some screening criteria. I mean, the main thing is whether they have the correct vehicle. Sometimes someone tries to enroll a jeepney, and that's not something we accept on our platform. But first, they have to pass our screening process. Then they have to come to one of our offices. We do most of our trainings in our main office, and they have to undergo an 8-hour onboarding process. Now, what happens during that process is, during that training, is that first we enroll them in our system, our IT system and our app, and then we train them on how to execute a delivery properly. Then we test them, and the passing grade is 100%. So they retake ng retake sila
Until you get 100.
they get 100.
Okay. Well, we need to have a station break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, makakasama pa rin natin si Transportify Co-Country Directors Paul Bengson at Noel Abelardo. No? And we will be back after this break.
Welcome back to Usapang Bayan. Kasama pa rin po natin ang Transportify Co-Country Directors, Mr. Paulo Bengson and Mr. Noel Abelardo.
Talking about the business angle of it, no? Of course, people would like to find a livelihood on their own or be an entrepreneur. What are the parameters that they can expect? Like, how much money can they make, things like that.
Okay. So I think the best way to do this is to do this on assuming you do it daily, right? So we have different kinds of drivers. Some that drive full time, some that drive only part time. So I will tell what the potential can be. Now, for our van class, which includes the FB type vehicles and the long van type vehicles, it normally can ranges about 80,000 to 90,000 gross per month. Right, that's what a driver would do. But I think the potential is even higher because when you do it per day, if you really want to do full time in a day, you can do 3, and on average, mga 1,350 to 1,400 pesos per booking.
And that's assuming
That's
Yes,
gross.
per
and
booking.
that's assuming how many hours per booking.
So the booking hours is about 2 to 3 hours
It-
per booking.
It really depends also on the client, on what you're delivering. Sometimes, it averages out because sometimes you'd have a client that you have a long wait time, which is fine kasi uupo ka lang doon, antayin mo lang naman, wala kang gagawin, you're paid for it. The others naman, very quick, like within an hour, tapos ka sa delivery or
So
an hour
even
and
if
a
you were
half.
to do like 3, it still would be like a regular work day
Yes.
of 9
Yes.
hours,
Yes.
8 hours,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And like Noel said, it would really vary. You might have 4 very small ones, like 700 each,
Na
or
mabilis
you
lang.
might have one that's 3,000, just one, but it takes 8 hours to do.
Or our platform also allows for a full day booking. So, minsan i-rent na yung vehicle mo the whole day for deliveries.
So at most, they can do this 6 times a week because they're coded on one day, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, correct.
Although you find some that do it 7 times a week because coding only applies in Metro Manila, and
that's right.
there's a
We
lot
have-
of bookings outside.
We have outside Metro Manila.
I see. Now, in terms of what the vehicles that can be used, can you sort of tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, so we have several vehicle classes. The most common is either the FB type, which could be like, I think the most well-known vehicle is the L300B, and then there's a van, which is I think the most well-known here is the High Ace Commuter, and those are the most popular classes, which most people always think about enrolling. And then you have the typical SUVs and the sedans, which are more consumer type vehicles. And then what we're really needing right now, and there's a lot of opportunity, is the 4-wheeler and 6-wheeler trucks.
The
We
closed
need
vans.
The
those.
closed vans.
Yes,
Yes, the big closed vans.
Well, you've had the chance to visit our bike showroom,
Of course.
which I'm part of, and I'm shamelessly plugging this. Can you tell us a little bit about what you think
With-
about those vehicles?
Um, Regarding the bike vehicles, I do think they're excellent value for money, and they're manufactured well. I think that a lot of countries right now don't get a fair judgment in terms of manufacturing quality. There's a lot of awesome manufacturing coming from places like China, right?
Correct.
That's where actually the best things are also made.
So
And
what can you say about the H5, which is the cab and chassis type? Is that going to be good for you guys?
Absolutely.
yeah.
In terms of the vehicle specifications, it's exactly what we need. Both the FB type and the
MZ.
Closed van.
the closed van configuration, and the MZ 45 would fit very well in that same category. There's a lot of demand for it, and right now, admittedly, we're already short
Yes.
on our supply, and coming into Christmas, we'll just need more and more.
Well, you can keep on referring them to us. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, no
we actually put it in our website
Oh,
already.
thank you,
Those
thank you.
those vehicles.
The vans that you use, sir, since you are involved in servicing or delivery services, do you remove the car seats?
Yeah, for some of the vehicles, especially the FB type, which can fold, it's easy. But for the vans, yes, we require them to remove the seats, just to accommodate more space, because that's exactly what the clients need.
Yeah,
That's
you
space.
charge separately for that, right? Depends on the category. You
Yes.
have different categories
Correct.
that have a higher payload,
Yes.
supposedly, and therefore a higher fee.
Correct,
Yes. So when you have no seats, you become a higher vehicle class where the fare
Altogether.
becomes way more profitable
But
for you.
but we also maintain our pricing so that the clients actually find it very affordable.
It doesn't become.
It doesn't
and there's
become-
no surge pricing.
No.
Okay.
Well, to be honest with you, we only did that once last year, only because it was Christmas time. It was really a tough time to get in supply. We were pretty new that time, and a lot of our clients were just clamoring for vehicles. So we had to incentivize the drivers a bit. And mind you, doesn't go to us. It went directly to the drivers, just as a sort of bonus. To incentivize them to take more bookings.
Before I pass it on to Rach, you were saying that on a gross basis they can make 80 to 90,000 at least. Does that that's a gross basis because you still need to take out your
Yes.
fees, right?
Yes.
I mean, and your fees are 20%.
20%.
20%. Yes.
Okay.
So once you take that into account, just subtract about 16.
Yeah. So
Oh.
they'll be left with maybe 60, 70,000.
Yes.
Yeah,
60.
which is still like a manager position for a small company already, right?
Yeah.
That type of earning. Although it's hard work. Admittedly, I mean, if you become one of our drivers, it's very different if it's delivery. So you have to be prepared, and we train this. We tell the drivers this during the training. You have to be prepared that really what you're gonna do is kind of tough. I mean, you'd be lucky sometimes. You'd get very light items that you load, like flowers or cakes or things like that, or even small groceries. But for the most part, especially if we're talking about our big enterprise clients, it's really huge items. Like you would need even a helper to do that. So, and you'd carry it on certain floors, or
Rich,
So
hindi ka pwede dito, kailangan macho.
no, because we want to be able to tell our drivers that, so that we create that mindset that hey, this is a delivery service. You're providing a service to our clients, and we expect a certain level of professionalism from you as well. So,
Every when do the drivers get compensated, sir? Is this a 1 month thing or
Okay.
15,
No.
30 then?
So there's two ways to that. Most of it is every 2 weeks, and then that's based on the payment of our business client, and then we remit it to the driver through their GCash. Now they could also take bookings wherein it's direct cash, so payment immediately on delivery. So which is what they like for the most part.
yeah.
Compared to other types of delivery service, sir, how do you fare?
Well, first regarding cost, I think we're affordable. What we look at is trying to save money for our clients. So we're about 30 to 40% cheaper in terms of our fees for, because we don't enter into a fixed contract. Use us when you need us, and type of agreement that we have with our business clients. But as we progress more and more, in fact, most of our clients, start trying us in that sense. Like, okay, I have an overflow, or I have a surge of orders. I need somebody else who can help out with deliveries, and they usually use our app, or they sign up under our business program. But as we move forward with our business, they realize that, hey, these guys are good. These guys are really at par when it comes to service levels. So we have a few clients that actually just, okay, I'm gonna let go of my other third-party providers. I'm just gonna focus on Transportify. They're cheaper. They have the same service level. They customize everything for me and things like that. There's just a lot of advantages for them.
Well, actually, one other advantage which you might not be aware of is the endo problem that some of these companies are facing, where they're being asked to absorb their third-party logistics provider.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. Our platform doesn't just outsource the vehicle. It outsources the driver. It empowers both sides. If you look at it, you as a company don't need to take in a labor, a headcount, and you as a driver partner, you work only whenever you
Maximize.
want,
Yes.
right? And if you
Drive
have a
only when you want.
schedule that you have a family obligation, you really don't need to commit to working that time as well. So it's a win-win for both sides, and both sides get what they want.
Well, marami po tayong pag-uusapan sa ating pagbalik. Please stay tuned.
Tayo po ay nagbabalik dito sa Usapang Bayan at kasama pa rin ang mga kaibigan natin sa Transportify na si Paulo at saka si Noel. So, just going back to what we were talking about, all of these wonderful business opportunities and things like that, where do you see your company going? Are you going to be expanding beyond the Metro Manila as a base, or what are your plans?
We actually service a big chunk of Luzon already. In fact, our service can, as long as there's a road, any point in Luzon we can service. But of course, we have our standard service area, which covers Metro Manila and some outskirt areas like Laguna and some parts of Cavite and even Angono.
So
But
you're saying that there's nothing to prevent somebody from having a delivery to Lawag or something
Yes.
like that,
Yeah.
as
Correct.
long as they're willing to pay for the fee,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
correct.
And a lot of transport companies do offer that from Manila to any point in Luzon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So you're something like that.
Yes.
And just to add a little color on how enhanced these capabilities are going to be, it just came out and we just announced that we raised a very big
Oh,
fundraising
tell us a little
round.
more about that.
So a few days ago, we closed an investment round, which is someone invested $14.5 million. So a group of organizations invested that money. Why? Because we've shown that this model works for both sides, businesses.
But maybe
and
before the BIR runs after you, you're not talking about somebody from the Philippines. It's from your other
parent
ASEAN.
companies.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So
Parent
So
Parent
company.
our
company.
company is a Singapore company,
Singapore-based.
but our Transportify entity is local, and these investments are to our company in Singapore, and we're going to use that to fuel growth domestically, because these are all investments. Our company will take a little bit more time para mag-break even, kasi we're not yet there, but we're
We're
approaching.
working
uh,
very hard to get
so-
there.
So we're on track to achieve that in a short amount of time. Now we're going to use that to accelerate yung expansion namin. I mean, besides expanding to other Southeast Asian countries, expanding throughout the Philippines is one of the biggest opportunities we have, and that's what that capital is going to be used for.
We're very excited for it.
How do you plan to improve your business, sir, in the coming years?
Well, the thing that's good about, I guess, Transportify is that we're a group of young individuals who's always thinking about innovation, about things that we can do to help out not just the local market, but to think about what else can we do. I mean, we already have that type of service of delivery. We already have people that that provide that service. What else can we do? So I don't want to disclose a few things yet, but we have very exciting things lined up. In fact, the executive team will go for a short retreat very soon, just to talk about, hey, okay, we have all these money. What are we supposed to do with it? How much does it does
That's a nice problem to have. What to do with the money,
yeah,
right?
so
Well-
but it's also like a pressure on us to improve our services, to innovate our app. Like if you look at our app, like we were talking about it earlier, that it's very different from the other apps that you may have seen. There's a little bit of similarity, but the entire user experience and feel is really different because it was really designed for transport of goods. So everything about that app, from sharing the location, from multiple drops, everything.
I can give one very, very concrete example. Something we just launched and we're definitely going to make better is called a fleet partner dashboard. Like some of our vehicles are owned by actually one person, and then he has a business and he uses his vehicles only once or twice
Yes.
a week, and he has three. But what he needs is to manage all three. So we have a partner dashboard wherein he can manage all three vehicles
Yes.
from his own computer, and
And
then
he-
he'll manage his drivers, and then they'll be accepting bookings
So
on our
this will be
platform.
typical of people who have a surplus of vehicles.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And
let's
the
say-
orders would come in, right? The orders would come in. I'm sorry, and they would see the orders, and they can drag and drop and assign vehicles to the orders.
Let's say may printing business ako, and then on certain days I don't have any business, and yet yung meron akong van, meron akong driver, and si driver is just
Nakaupo lang
nakaupo,
doon.
and yung van nakatenga lang. Instead, they can use that day to be
They can
profitable.
optimize the
Yes.
utilization.
Yes.
We've had some cases wherein from normal business, naging delivery business na
Yes,
lang sila.
correct.
Because
Or from-
that was the better use.
Because we don't really encourage naman buying new vehicles because, of course, that's not really helpful. We started with just maximizing kung ano na yung nandyan. Like if you have a spare vehicle, like what Paulo was saying, na nakatambay lang, nakatenga lang dyan, right? But if we are to advertise like purchase of new vehicles, it would always be the more cost-effective ones, the one that you could utilize.
The bigger ones.
Yeah, the one that you could utilize for deliveries really for this business.
And that's a good segue into the Bike
yeah,
H5, right?
vehicles.
Because
Sulit na yung
it's,
plug natin.
it is Euro 4 compliant.
Yes.
And that's something normally when people ask us to, hey, well, what vehicle should I get and all of this, we would say, hey, just for your general purposes, not just for Transportify, make sure you get something Euro 4 compliant.
And even with the
Yeah, maybe
client-
just to talk a little bit about that. A lot of our viewers are probably not aware that under the Clean Air Act, which has already been extended, the government requires that the LTO for first-time registration only registers Euro 4 emission standard compliant vehicles starting January 1st, 2018.
Yes.
No? So they must have either been pre-registered already or they're in the system already by January 1st, 2018. Go ahead.
No, because what's important about that is also our clients. Because again, we maintain a certain service level with them, and now that we've again servicing like big names, they're kind of particular with how the car looks, how the driver looks, and whenever we go to their warehouse, because they also service to their clients. So
They look professional.
yeah,
Hindi
I
pwedeng
mean,
jeepney.
if you look
ganyan.
at our,
No.
our drivers, you would see them in uniform. They'd have a cap, an ID, and we'd always send a reminder. It would always be, you should be in complete uniform, and any penalty, any violations of that uniform code gets reported.
When you
to
say
us.
uniform, you're talking about a Transportify
Yes.
uniform.
So they're wearing like a
Oh,
green
so
shirt.
that's part of the whole package that they wear a Transportify shirt.
Not
things
on all occasions, but yes, for some customers that require a uniform, yes. We do equip some of our drivers that have performed well with we give them a gift, which is a shirt. And that also means that they've performed well, right? So when our customers say, hey, must have a polo shirt, they're saying that they have higher standards in terms of how they expect the drivers to look.
Is that similar to the shirt that we gave Rach?
No,
that's
that's
a
a,
different
that's a
one.
special shirt. That's a dry fit shirt. So you can use that for gym, running, or
Thank you,
sports.
sir.
Also, I
It's a
think
good
she would
shirt.
have preferred the driver shirt.
Sir, I cannot drive nga eh. Ako matuto eh. Sir,
Operator ka.
Operator,
Yeah, you can
mas
be an
social.
Yeah, I
operator.
can.
You can be an operator.
Sir, since your business basically uses the roads and we know naman how chaotic the traffic problem is in the country, what can you suggest the government do to address this problem? Because of course, it maybe somehow affects your business.
You really want to go there?
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
I know, like for me, it's just one because I'm a heavy driver. I'm not a transport, but I use my car every day. I drive around the metro, so I know the pain of being on the road for 2.5 hours. Sometimes the hours of, especially when I was a salesperson, a business development, I used to be able to meet clients like 4 clients a day. Sometimes if I stretch it, 5. Now, I'd be lucky to be able to meet 2. Just because of the traffic, it causes a lot of problem productivity-wise, and I don't have a driver. So, of course, when I'm stuck in traffic, I can't work on my phone or on my
Especially
laptop.
now, anti-distracted driving prevents
Exactly.
you from
So,
using your phone.
you know, what happens is I usually put on my phone and I record notes. So while I'm driving, I do a voice recording, so I remember, you know, I keep thinking and I remember what I'm supposed to do. But one thing that the government really needs to do is just fix the public transport.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, it's crazy that we bought all these new wagons for the MRT and
doesn't
we're
fit.
not going to be able to use it because it's too heavy. And it's what? It's our tax money.
In- there's a I guess we should, us being Transportify, it's ironic that whenever there's more traffic, we have more business. It's
Yes.
because people start needing us when there's traffic.
Yeah.
But as a personal opinion on what needs to be done, I mean, basically is invest in places outside of Metro Manila so that the economic activity is spread out,
Correct.
which I believe the government is trying to do already, and then continue investing in the infrastructure. Public transportation
Yeah.
is one of them, and embrace a lot of the new innovation that's coming in. That's
Yes.
really important.
They
There's a lot
shouldn't
of new
be
innovation.
they shouldn't be holding back all these innovations. They should be welcoming it.
Well, we're almost at the tail end of our program, and as you noted, time flies when you're having fun. But maybe you can talk to our audience and tell them that, you know, how to get in touch with you if they want to learn more about the business opportunities or becoming a Transportify entrepreneur.
Okay, for businesses, I mean, we talked about a lot about helping small businesses grow and helping big enterprise clients with your deliveries. If you are interested to know more about how Transportify is going to be there for you, you can email business@transportify.com.ph, or you could simply visit our website at www.transportify.com.ph. And Paulo.
Paulo?
All right, for the partners, which are the driver partners, you can visit our website, and there's a live chat there which we respond to very, very well. You'll be able to contact our customer service through there, and there's a specific page we have in our website for application of driver partners. The one thing we're really, really hungry for right now is all the vans and the closed vans. We need those. We'll respond to you almost immediately once you apply, if you have one of those types of vehicles. We're also working on a partnership with Baik, with George here, and if you can reach us through them once we get things going, and we're going to have traction pretty soon.
Yes. Rach, you want to ask one final question
One
before we
final
close?
question, sir. Where do you see Transportify in the next 5 years? A positive outcome.
Of course, but I'd probably be running another country with the entire team. But of course, I want to be a household name. We want to be the best transport logistics provider in Southeast Asia using our technology. And I only see big things for the Philippines. Our economy is great. It doesn't stop us from growing tremendously. I mean, maybe by that time we'll be doing nationwide deliveries with long hauls and all that, or who knows, maybe airplanes or helicopters. I don't know.
Yeah, in 5 years, definitely our reach in terms of what services we can provide and where we can
Yeah.
provide them would grow to an extent that we can only dream of right now. But we've had enough ammunition. We've mustered enough ammunition to be able to chase that. I mean, only 12 months ago, we were sitting in the floor of an unfinished office
Yes.
with dust.
Yes.
And now it's turned into only 12 months, a massive, formidable logistics operation in Manila.
From 5 people to now close to 80 and
Wow.
people
5,000 partners.
and 5,000 partners.
Let's claim success.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid success because we really worked hard to make sure that we become very successful here, and we're still gonna push it. We're definitely not gonna stop.
Well, thank you for joining us this evening, Noel and Paulo. At yan po ang isang makabuluhang diskusyon kasama si Transportify Co-Country Directors Paulo Bengson at Co-Country Director Mr. Noel Abelardo.
Maaari niyo po kaming i-follow at i-like sa aming Facebook page, Usapang Bayan. Ako po si Rach Marquez.
At ako po si George Chua. Samahan niyo po kami muli dito sa mga susunod nating episodes dito sa Usapang Bayan.